How awesome was that introduction right there when we had the StreamYard logo go through it? It's almost like this is our
Fantastic.
first
That was
podcast.
great.
It's almost like this is the first time we've done this. Literally, first frame is Dustin's giant face. By Dustin, I mean Stump, aka These Nuts. This is the F Run and Find Out Fantasy Football Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Corey Melville. I'm joined by my great friend, the guru, Justin Hanson, aka NFL Junkie. I got my boy Dustin Stumpert here, aka Stump, aka These Nuts. And I also have my great friend here, John Shepley, also known as She Bass. A nice spin on the great Seabass, former kicker of the Los Angeles Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders is dating you now. You're actually old.
I am.
Yeah.
I had that name for a long time.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm the one that gave you that name a long time ago, and so
Yeah,
I
Corey's
like it,
house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna go with it. Did you know, Justin, why we called him She Bass before?
No, I've not heard the story.
So you mean like the word She Bass didn't even trigger anything in your brain to know what that came from?
Nope.
You've been around longer than anybody, man.
You never seen Dumb and Dumber, dude?
I
That's
have plenty of times. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
where I got it from. Kick his ass,
Okay.
She Bass.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Even know that. It was a massive week in the NFL this week. Really exciting games. What did you guys think of that Bills game?
Oh, dude.
Man, I thought that was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Instant classic.
I think we all thought that one was over, and I thought for sure the dude that owned Josh Allen in my guillotine league was done, and I was salivating at the idea of getting Josh Allen off the waiver wire, and then he goes off, and that guy gets saved, and now I'm stuck picking up some scrubs on the waiver wire in that league. The true person that should lose is the one that's losing in that league. Some idiot that auto drafted, like myself. What do you guys think of that Vikings game?
Vikings
That was
second
another good
tier
one.
to the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
You really think the Vikings game was second tier of the Bills? I think it was actually top tier.
No, I mean,
You think so?
2 fourth quarter comebacks, 21 points, rookie. Can't
And
beat
Josh
that.
Allen's a rookie, right? We expect this sort of thing out of Josh Allen. We don't expect this thing out of a rookie, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was way cooler.
I think it's just the way the game was going. You know, it was just like completely dominant by the Ravens, and then they just came back. And for us, it was like we were both just kind of shit in the bed and ended up pulling it out at the end.
I mean, for me, at least, like, I started doing other stuff when I was watching the Vikings game. Like, I started preparing for this podcast. I think I might have did a little bit of laundry. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Like, in my brain, I was like, it's probably over. And you guys know me better than anybody. I'm usually the one that's like telling you that there's still a chance. And even me in this situation, I thought it was over until, of course, you know, the love of my life, JJ McCarthy, came out on that field, my baby, and he started chucking those piss missiles. He hit JJ with that piss missile right in the chest. And when you see that coach's film or that camera right behind the QB, it almost looks like it's impossible. It looks like it's impossible for that throw to happen. There's only one man that can do it. It's a great JJ McCarthy. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that.
I was excited about his composure, both him and KOC, obviously, and us as Vikings fans, longtime Vikings fans. We deal with the Kirk Cousins years of he can't win in prime time, he can't win in the big game, and the way quarterbacks are measured these days is primetime games.
Not by the amount of hair on their head or the size of their wieners, but by the amount of hair on their wieners. I'm just kidding.
That was the second thing I was going to say.
Exactly.
But primetime games and fourth quarter comebacks, and we got JJ McCarthy getting one of each in his first NFL start. So pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, us as fans, like you start to lose your hope in it, and you got to imagine when you're on the sideline dealing with that the composure is going to shit for them too. But somehow he managed to just keep it positive. I've read a lot of different quotes and different things that he said to his teammates, and it's just like, man, this, if he can stay healthy and keep playing the way he played that last quarter, I think we got a good one.
Can you imagine how it would have went if he would have said all that stuff and then they would have lost, though? Like if he's like, hey, guys, just hang in there. I got this. Or if he's like, hey, is there any place you'd rather be?
Right.
In the huddle and all that stuff.
Well,
like how bad would that be like week 2
if
he goes
we're
out there?
being real, that I guarantee every game the losing team says similar quotes at halftime, and it just doesn't pan out.
No, you're ruining it, dude. You're ruining it.
Impossible.
Only the great JJ McCarthy. Nobody else.
So are we jumping right to the overreaction part of this podcast here?
Game reactions, dude. Overreaction is the last thing on the list.
I understand. I just the NFL all-time great JJ McCarthy. We'll give him a couple more starts. I'm excited, but
I'm pumped.
Give him a couple more starts. Yeah, we'll give him a few more starts. I mean, he's already getting, like, if you go on X right now, he's getting compared to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys seen that.
I don't want to hype him up that much, but he could get the job done.
I can actually see that Shebass is muted. Is it because his family and his kids and dogs are barking? Is
the
that
dog, probably the dog.
It's the fucking dogs.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
I think they actually chill out for a second. So actually, you guys missed the best part of last night's game. Is when ESPN cut to one of the Bears fans after we scored that first touchdown, and one of the fans put his hands on his head and said, "We're gonna fucking lose this game." that was so satisfying. That was, oh my god. It's like you only get a few of those moments as a fan. Yeah, that was.
He was not lying. Yeah, he was not lying. That was accurate. That was a definite accurate statement. I'm going to go through a few games, and I want you guys to tell me if there's anything that sticks out to you in these games. And I think that potentially we should just start with the first game of the week, Cowboys-Eagles. Does anything stick out for you, Justin, as it compares to or as it pertains to that game?
So for me, the way I see it, I'm thinking the Cowboys are better than advertised. I know they lost the game, but overall, I think that the overwhelming thought process is that they were going to get the doors blown off, but they made it competitive, and they showed a lot of promise in that game and a lot of things to build on. I think Dak looked fantastic. So I think that they're going to be a lot better than a lot of people thought.
See, for me, I always think when I see a division game, like you can be like dog shit, and then you play like the best team in the league just happens to be in your division, and you're always like equally matched with them in that game. Like a lot of times it's like because you know that other team. So for me, I'm not really convinced that the Cowboys are much better. If they would have played somebody else, if they would have played the Bills or something and they hung tight, I would be like, oh yeah, they're definitely a lot better. But the fact that it was the Eagles and they know the Eagles well, I'm still not convinced. But you're probably right because you're usually right. But I'm not myself. We're gonna have to give that one a little bit more time for myself. Either you guys have anything to say about that game?
Yeah, I think obviously some big drops by our boy CeeDee Lamb at the end. Huge plays that he could have made, and that really affected the outcome. Obviously, the weather delay, which happened throughout a couple games this week, play a big factor in just the energy the guys. I mean, after that weather delay in Dallas, there was nothing. It was just everything was stale. So
yeah, CD was just so tired that he couldn't actually catch the ball anymore. He's like, dude, I'm exhausted from waiting. I can't catch anymore. And I feel like that was like what was happening across the league was guys who don't drop passes were dropping passes. And I don't even own CeeDee Lamb in any league, could not get a share of CeeDee Lamb. And I was still getting pissed off for the CD owners that he was dropping those passes. That being said, Dak Prescott only has eyes for CD. He's not looking for nobody else right now. So what do you guys think of George Pickens coming out of that game? Justin.
I agree 100%. He only has eyes for CD, and I think that Pickens looks like a glorified just way to take a lot of the pressure off of CD. I did kind of have that feeling, and I did not get any shares of George Pickens earlier this season in drafts either. I mean, I love the fact for Dak, he does have that additional weapon, but if it's just going to draw coverage off CD, it's just going to make for a huge season for Lamb if he can catch passes.
One thing that has pissed me off as it pertains to the Cowboys is the Javonte Williams situation, because I knew that he was going to be like a workhorse, and I didn't pick him up in any league, and he was going for super cheap.
Nothing. Dirt cheap.
He went for nothing. And he's basically like, he's probably one of like 5 true like workhorse backs in the league right now. Wouldn't you guys say so?
I agree. I think the Jade and Blue love got a little too much, and everybody started feeding into that. But as you see across the league, rookies that are drafted later just didn't really get the play that we all expected. So, do you think there's still hope for Jade and Blue?
Yeah, I think there's still hope for Jaden Blue. I feel like he was inactive as he was still dealing with a lingering injury issue. That paired with, he is a rookie. I feel like with a lot of the rookies that were hyped, it's going to be a slow process for them to gain a bigger role within the offense. I think Jaden Blue is going to be one of them. Obviously, Javonte had a big game, a couple of touchdowns, but to me, he didn't really look explosive. It looks like more he's going to get the carries due to lack of other options. My gut tells me he's just doesn't have the talent that he had back in the day, and I feel eventually it's just a matter of time before he does relinquish a lot of his role.
Yeah.
Yep.
So would you guys say that Javonte is a still high candidate?
I would say Javonte is a hold right now, honestly. I don't think given the way that running backs performed this week, I wouldn't say that. I don't think I'd want to get rid of him at this point myself.
Yeah. I had him on my bench in a couple leagues, and it's like he outscored the other running backs I had starting. So
Shebass, I'm gonna just jump on that real quick, because for most people, Javonte is going to be deep on your bench. You're not going to need to rely on him as a starter. So for me, in these instances, I take that commodity and I instantly flip him. I don't see his value being much higher than it is right now, and I would take him and upgrade at a position of need.
It's a good point. So, yeah, I did not see that game coming from him. That was something in that game that I didn't expect, along with AJ Brown. You know, him not getting targeted until the very end of the game. You would think that he would at least get a couple, throughout the game, even if they were using him as a decoy or whatever their game plan was. But you would think it'd still get some targets his way. And I didn't see him. I don't remember the cameras ever cutting to him having a meltdown or anything. So that was a little surprising. I would have thought that he would have had a meltdown or something. But if it was part of the game plan and he was going along with it, that might have been why he didn't have any meltdowns. So
they won the Super Bowl. I think after you win the Super Bowl and your offense runs the way it does, which is through the run, you're going to come across the situation where you're not getting the ball as much as long as you're winning. I think you kind of have to buy into the narrative of what the team is doing and they're winning.
Right.
So he did pull up in a Rolls Royce and a 3-piece suit before the game.
I did see that.
He used to not do that. He used to always come in with just like a T-shirt on. And he's just like, I got to come correct. So I think that kind of feeds into it. I would agree that one target is extreme. I'm sure he's not real thrilled about one target. Neither are his fantasy owners. But I do think that there's better days to come for him.
Yeah.
Buy low candidate for sure.
Yeah.
Stump, I agree with you 100%. I feel like there are better days to come. The way that I'm kind of viewing it, he did have that lingering hamstring issue towards the end of the preseason. I think that might have lingered into the regular season, and they may have used him a bit as a decoy. And if he was fully on board with that game plan and he drew the double coverage and took some focus away from some of the other things that they were trying to accomplish, I'm sure he was more than happy to do that, knowing that he was not at full strength and knowing that as he heals, he will get those opportunities again. So agree with you 100%. He is a true buy low at this point.
But you guys remember last year though?
Quit zooming in on him, because every time you zoom in on him, I get lost in his eyes, and it's unbearable for me because I'm just like, yes.
The NFL junkie has the deepest blue eyes of anybody. And so,
but off the two players we just discussed, potentially, if the AJ Brown owners panicked, you might be able to flip Javonte for him. Given their running back situation, it could be a possible move. I know I kind of stayed away from AJ Brown this year just because I knew that their offense was a heavy run, and towards the end of the year, he didn't really get a whole lot. I mean, he had a couple games where it was decent, but not what you expect from a player like that. So you might be able to flip our sell high for our buy low. That might.
But that's what I was going to say, is that last year there was problems in Philly when it came to AJ Brown, right? And he was all upset. He wasn't getting no passes.
Reading the book
a little bit, and then all of a sudden Hurts started hitting him like at the end of the year. So I kind of feel like when that happens, it inflated his numbers a little bit. And I have him in a league, as the junkie knows, because we're in that league together, and I'm not happy about it at all. So you're going to get a trade offer from me later, actually. You take it.
I'll take it. Likely.
Let's get it done on air. What's the trade offer?
Pull out your phones.
My crappy team, and I'm not willing to do that yet. Not willing to do that.
I did make a trade in that league earlier today, just hours ago. We'll touch on that on one of our later subjects.
Sounds good. We should probably move on to the next team. So the next game was the Chiefs at the Chargers. And how do you guys feel about how that game went down? Did all your fantasy studs perform like you thought? Because for me, I did have Isaiah Pacheco, and I was kind of the camp that, he's a late round guy that is still going to be getting a lot of carries and things like that. That is, don't know why I thought that. Still don't know why I did that. But I will say that he should be getting more carries, and the Chiefs should be running the ball a lot more than they are. I kind of am surprised that they aren't. But he underperformed in my eyes, and he's now sitting on my bench. Thank goodness I have ETN.
Well, I'd like to cover what you just asked. I would say that the Chiefs look Xavier going down, we don't have any idea what he was going to be this year, but that obviously played a big factor into what their game plan was, because after that, it was just like, every year you're like, oh, the Chiefs are going to be Super Bowl. But honestly, I feel like I'm with the majority that think that might not be the case this year. They might be a middle-of-the-road team. They always have the experience to get through the playoffs and into the Super Bowl, but right now they don't look like the Chiefs I'm used to. The Chargers diced them up and down the field. Their defense isn't holding up. I do think that they're good at run stop, and that was beneficial when it came to the running backs for the Chargers, but then they just switched their game plan and went right into pass mode. Herbert hasn't passed the ball like that in a couple years, and with Harbaugh there, they're going to be a running back team, and it's like they just saw an opening and went for it, and it just didn't seem like the Chiefs could compete.
Do you guys think Kelsey's bad, or do you think that maybe they're just underutilizing him now for some reason? I can't imagine that he's this bad to where they're just not even going to look his way.
It's tough to say because, given the options they have in their offense right now, you would think they would be trying to isolate him a little more and get him the ball. But, we saw on that touchdown, he still has a little speed. He's not a complete old man, but it's like every route he runs, he just runs out into the flat and then stops and waits for Mahomes to pass him the ball. He's not running like a full route. He's just a stop route. Mm-hmm. And I think that's easy to play against when you're what he does. He does it every game. That's all he does. So the one play where he ran up the sideline, they probably were surprised by that, and he was able to score. So I think if they kind of change up the way they use him, he might be able to be usable in fantasy this year. Obviously, he had a decent week 1, but he only had 2 catches.
One of the better things that happened was I tried to trade Dustin or my boy Stump here who was it? Kelsey and who was the other guy? Who else is involved in that trade?
Hopkins.
Hopkins. Okay, so I tried to trade you Hopkins and Kelsey for my good friend Michael Pittman Jr. and you denied the Hopkins trade and you asked for a pick instead, and you said because Hopkins is too old. And then I screenshot their ages, and Kelsey's like 2 years older than Hopkins.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, but you
Is that
can
this
see
year?
yeah, that was just a week ago.
Hmm.
Dynasty League, though, I needed some help
Yeah,
at tight
two old
end, and
dudes.
I had the old dudes.
Two old
But I,
dudes.
I had some youth on my bench, so I was like, all right, well, if I can get a serviceable tight end for this year, then I could maybe make a play for the old championship again
So
for the third year in a row.
do you guys feel that Lad McConkey lived up to expectation?
I think Lad McConkey's in a little bit of trouble, just from the standpoint of competition for targets. Obviously, the Chargers came out throwing, and I feel like this will probably be their highest attempts of the season, which was the case last season. Herbert's top attempted game was the first game of the year, and then after that, like you said, Dustin, they were a run-first team, and of course, they're going to be again. Game plan dictated that they were going to pass the ball, and they did a really good job with that game plan. And now they've included a couple of new wide receivers, and so there's just going to be more competition for those targets. McConkey is probably the most talented of the group, but he's still going to have the ball spread around quite a bit, and he's going to lose a lot of that volume that he had last year.
I think Keenan Allen killed Lad McConkey for fantasy owners by coming back there, just with just the rapport that he has.
McConkey will get it done. He'll have his games, but we have the luxury right now of comparing it to where these players were drafted just weeks ago, and compared to where he was drafted, the value likely won't be there based on what we saw week one.
Yeah. Quentin Johnson looked good though. I mean, he caught 7 of those 9 passes he was targeted for. So he kind of was out of the blue. I didn't expect him to do very well.
It's like
it
on
was
a
just
team
like
that
what?
doesn't pass at all,
Right?
And now
Yeah.
they got 2 other targets other than Lad McConkey. I don't know.
Yeah, and he looked good. He didn't look
crazy at drafts over Lad McConkey. I did not.
Yeah.
Because I just had a feeling that they weren't going to pass, and I was like, "No, dude, I'm going to take AJ Brown. He's on the team that rushes the most in the league." And look how that worked out for me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I would say I definitely prefer Lad over AJ rest of the season. I do think that he's probably not going to live up to the value he was drafted at. I would say he was like a low end or wide receiver 1. He's probably going to be a middle wide receiver 2 is what I would say.
Yep.
But I still think he's going to get his. He's going to get the targets. I know that when they brought Keenan back, that was a little bit of an issue. I know I was targeting Lad in a lot of leagues, and that kind of gave me pause because I'm like, they have a rapport. They've played together for a few years, and bringing them back, they're just going to have that chemistry again. I do also think that Keenan is not who he used to be. So I do think that will take its toll over the season. I think Lad will eventually start getting more of those targets that Keenan got.
I mean, he had 18 fantasy points on my bench.
Keenan Allen did?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yep.
Yeah. But man, what did he have? He had 2 ACL injuries earlier in his career, right? I mean, he's getting old.
He's up there.
That's going to catch up with him.
Sponsor.
Cola?
Not sponsored. Eventually, we're going to have little koozies with our logo on it. Only other fantasy-worthy person in this game that we're talking about is probably Omarion Hampton. So, your expectations for him, how did that work out for you guys, Justin?
Well, it's a tough call. You got to like the workload that he got game one. But the way that I do see it is as Najee kind of gets back into shape and back into the swing of things, he will be a part of the offense. So even though Omarion will be RB number one, there will be a bit of a timeshare there. So I don't see him as being 90 to 95% of the carries as he was week one. But it's encouraging. He did get the workload and didn't come off the field on third down, and the coaches trust him in that pass pro situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. He looked good. I mean, that's one of the things that I was worried about in the beginning is Najee, but with the eye injury and everything, I was like, oh, we're going to be sitting good here. Didn't even think Najee was going to come back for a while. I thought he was going to end up on IR, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere, they're like, oh, he's playing or he's practicing and he's going to be good to go for Friday. And I was like, wow.
Well, as soon as they were like, this is the first time he's ever not started a game in his career, I'm like, great.
He'll be there.
Yeah. I thought he was going to come back. I thought he was going to come there and wreck everything. I got one share of Hampton. So you guys own him? Who owns him?
I do not.
I got one share also.
Yeah. I figured it was worth the dart throw, and hopefully Justin is right, and that one is worth it. Looking at the schedule, I mean, if we scan the schedule here, Falcons, Buccaneers. Anything stand out to you guys in that game? I'll start with you, Shebass, in that Falcons Buccaneers game. You know, I'm a Bijan Robinson owner myself.
Penix, man. He looked fucking good.
He looked like John Elway. You diving into the end zone like that? Hitting Emmett.
Dude, I got him in our league, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't want him. Probably the best thing I ever did on accident.
Yeah,
was draft him, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think he got me 24 points. So he had a good game. Yeah, I did. I put him in that second spot that we could put a QB in.
Yeah. That's what we like to call in the biz a super flex.
Yeah, the super flex.
That second slot, you know.
Hey, you know, I couldn't
the main slot,
think,
the second slot where you can put a QB. That's where we put him.
It's getting late. My brain's starting to shut down, you know. But yeah, you know, yeah, that was shocking. I did, you know, he outscored Jared Goff, and I had Goff in the starting position. I was like, oh. After seeing Goff play, I was like, maybe you should.
You know, everybody who has like Jared Goff as one of their QBs and decided to name their team Jerking Goff is absolutely hating that.
I've literally never heard that.
Yeah.
Like, you can only do that when the team that you're doing, like making the team after, the players actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would have drafted him had I heard that before.
Yeah,
just to have that name.
Everyone else who did that.
Yeah. Other than that, you know
Drake who is going to be happy? The people who name their team Saquon These Nuts. Those people are ecstatic right now.
I've never been a fan of changing your team name every year based on who's on your team.
Yeah.
Just because you never know who you're playing. You always forget because it's ever changing.
What I did was because I'm the gun show in one league and I had Zach Ertz, so I just changed my team name to Gun Show's Ball Zach Ertz. So I still kept the gun show in there.
That works.
I just had to add my piece, you know what I mean? And Stump changed his team name to CD's Nuts this year.
I've never changed this team name ever.
But what makes sense?
But everyone calls me D's Nuts, so
yeah, they call him D's Nuts, so it kind of made sense.
Okay, sure.
Then my 11-year-old, he decided to name his team CD's Nuts as well because he thought Dustin's team name was funny, and he also has CD Lamb. So now I have an 11-year-old with the team name CD's Nuts. Thanks, Uncle Stump.
Is that in a league with his friends?
Yeah, he's in a league with a bunch of other kids.
We all know what Melon's son is naming his team name, if that's the case.
That's for sure. It's a guarantee. What is it?
I've not swore yet, so I'm holding true.
That's nice.
Some more add-ons to the Falcons Buccaneers. I would say that Kyle Pitts, dude, he looked good. I think that they may have moved him out a little bit, and he looks quick again, and he's kind of looked like shit the last couple of years.
Well, of course, because we all just gave up on him.
Yeah,
So
finally gave up on him.
Typically, what happens, it's just like we all gave up on Kenneth Gainwell, and now look at him.
Yeah, so I would say that Pitts looked pretty good. A good tight end option, probably available on some waiver wires out there.
Or for trade in an Empire League.
Yeah,
if you're still looking for a tight end.
Yeah, he's available. Well, Stump has a tight end for this season, but he'll be retired by next season. He'll need him then. Yeah.
But I think Pitts might be his replacement. I've heard actually those rumors.
That he's going to be going to KC?
They were trying at one point to try to trade for him. Was the rumor I heard.
Let's start that rumor.
He'd be a beast.
Get that rolling. Let's get it rolling. Yeah, I mean, as far as the Bucs go in this game, it's exciting. Ibuka, you got those 6 targets, 2 touchdowns. So of course, all of us that have shares of Ibuka are really excited. But for me, fortunately, the only shares I have of him are in a guillotine. So hopefully, he's going to keep me alive for the first few weeks. But when Godwin comes back, it's going to be even more of a volume share. So I think it's going to be more of a cluster than a blessing come mid-season. There's also that concern about losing their offensive coordinator, losing their best offensive lineman. I think that showed with Bucky Irving. He did score, but he didn't really have an effective game on the ground. So there is a little bit of lingering challenges that I expect Tampa to have moving forward. It just didn't show because they finally came alive in the second half of this game.
Anyone else on the Bucs? Baker Mayfield, did he live up to expectations in you guys' eyes?
He didn't up until the fourth quarter, so I guess he pulled a JJ McCarthy.
JJ? I love JJ McCarthy. However, I did play against JJ McCarthy in the league, and I thought the dude was an idiot for playing him, and 5 points on me, and I almost lost. So
how many? 25?
What's that?
How many points did he get? 25?
25 points. 25 points on me. And he probably had like 5 points until the first quarter. Yeah, K-Fan, they were like, I think they should make a documentary about last night's game. And they're like, what would you call it? And he's like, McCarthy. And they're like, how would it go? And he's like, I don't know. I'd skip till the end. Exactly how the game went.
It'd be called Jonathan James McCarthy.
That must be his actual name.
That's his actual name.
So he shares the name with Shebass.
That he does. That's a good name.
All right, moving on to the next game. Let's move on to the next game. Is there anyone else on this game? I don't think so. Bengals Browns. We know that all the Bengals players let us down.
Agreed.
That win.
Struggling over
missed field goal. They probably wouldn't have been able to overcome that.
What's that?
This is with the missed field goal. They probably wouldn't have been able to overcome that if they would have hit that field goal at the end there. The Browns.
Well, and again, it goes back to them being division rivals, man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good you are and how bad you are. For some reason, you're always able to hang tight. But what really upsets me is Chase is under 2 points from me this week. And he's the one that's going to be on the waiver wire in all the guillotine leagues because he's trash. He was trash last week. And I was going to actually draft Justin Jefferson over him in a league because I feared this. I was talked out of it by the NFL junkie. So we'll see how that works out at the end of the year.
How much you guys bidding on Jamar Chase in the leagues he's dropped?
At least $12.
It's going to win it.
Yeah.
You're going to get him. What did you guys think about Dylan Sampson, though?
Go right to the NFL junkie on this one.
Exciting in a PPR league, but we don't know how long that's going to last. With Judkins coming back, There's also, again, a lot of mouths to feed in Cleveland all of a sudden. We've got Fannin now. We've got Njoku. We've got Judy, Tillman. Plenty of places for the ball to go, and they're not really a juggernaut under Flacco. So while the talent is there, I don't know if there's enough to go around and actually provide adequate fantasy points for the whole team.
That's another team named Judge Judy, spelled Judy the way Judy spells his name. In that one.
Yeah,
I would say that
receptions. So
yeah,
I mean, that was shocking. I didn't expect that from him. I knew he was going to get some. He was going to get a majority of the run at running back for right now. But yeah, that was the receptions. That was a little shocking for me. And
yeah, go ahead.
Did you guys see the dildo made it onto the field in that game?
Was this the WNBA?
Yeah, it was a green one, and then the ref goes and grabs it, and he throws it to the sideline, and it's just going woo, 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 to the sideline.
I didn't see that.
Wow,
like, dude, it was great. Oh my god, it was great.
Do you think who's more accurate, that guy throwing a dildo or Caleb Williams last night?
The guy throwing the dildo.
Definitely.
But
if you had Caleb throwing the dildo, he might be a little bit more accurate.
That is true, man. That is true.
Right.
Looks like you can whip one.
Especially if it's on the first drive of the evening.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If it's in the first 15, for sure, 100%.
His freshly painted fingernails rolling off the tip of that cack.
Do you think it makes like a when it goes off his fingertips?
Yeah, definitely.
Like
definitely a snap. Definitely a snap.
As I have so much to add to this, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, it's a tangent we could just go down forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Panthers, Jags.
Other Browns things I would say Njoku kind of underperformed, and Fannin got a significant amount of targets compared to him, and that's a little alarming for people who drafted Njoku early. It looks like it's going to be a 2 tight end system. I'm sure Njoku will have his days where he gets the majority of them, but it does add some concern when that's your main tight end and you were counting on him, and the rookie's getting 8 targets, 9 targets, whatever it was.
What if you're Freiermuth right now? What are you thinking? I don't even know why I said that. It's because the Steelers, man, they got like 16 tight ends.
Yeah, they do, and none of them really had good games either. All DK in that offense, it seems like. And Kelvin Austin.
I mean, are we talking Steelers now? Are we jumping to that game?
No, we're not even jumping to that game. I just wanted to bring that up, but just had to throw that out there. We were still on the Brown side, but we should actually move on to some the game I've been waiting to talk about actually, because my boy Michael Pittman Jr. over there, Colts Dolphins. My boy Danny Dimes. I'm the only believer in Danny Dimes, and I grabbed Michael Pittman Jr. in every league, and I have Danny Dimes in one league. And look at how smart I am. I'm
genius.
People are probably turning off the podcast right now as they're listening to this. They download the podcast right now with what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I would want Danny Dimes as my only quarterback, but in a super flex, you may have heard of it. I would have him as potentially third quarterback, but playing him as until he shits the bed. I mean, he looked good. He's got the rushing ability, 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that with the offense they're running is very, very short passes with the occasional deep one. He could do well if he sticks with the way he's played in the past. there's definitely the possibility of the bottom falling out.
The risk aversion part of that is it speaks loudly to me. I did have him as a third quarterback in my Superflex league, and fortunately, I was able to find a trade partner earlier today, so I was able to take him and Trevor Lawrence, pair them for Dak Prescott. Kind of a buy low on the Dak end of it because he didn't have a huge game from a point standpoint, but from my ranking standpoint, I still have Dak higher than both of those other two quarterbacks. So I took the opportunity to flip the two of them for Dak as my second quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's a good deal. Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, Superflex, it's going to benefit the other player. Was Dak their only guy?
Yes, absolutely. That's the team that I targeted because they did only have the one quarterback. I am a fan of Dak, and especially as my second. But as you mentioned, just that risk of you never know when the bottom's going to fall out. You got that potential of a bad game or two, and he's looking over his shoulder. So something I don't want to deal with. I'd much rather have a solidified upgrade at that second quarterback position.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, another thing on the Colts, I do think that Danny Dimes is a little bit of a challenge, which I guess Richardson would be as well for those of us that have Jonathan Taylor. A couple of 1-yard touchdowns were taken away from him, and then he didn't end up playing the entire fourth quarter. So an underwhelming performance, even though he had a good first 3 quarters. A little bit discouraging, and hopefully that's not something that's going to be repeated multiple times throughout the season, but just a trend that obviously
Danny Dimes, dude, he's got them wheels on him. He doesn't need other people to run touchdowns in for him. Danny Dimes can do everything on his own. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for the guy that owns Jonathan Taylor. Did you guys touch on Jonathan Taylor besides right there?
No.
I haven't.
Anything that
I didn't take him in any.
His performance?
Yeah, I was skeptical of taking Jonathan Taylor. He did, like you said, set out the fourth quarter. It sounds like he had like a little bit of a neck injury, and they just wanted to play it safe because they were dominating Dolphins. So sounds like he's good to go and no issues there, but it's better to play it safe and get a little run out of Giddens.
So Jonathan Taylor reminds me of old like David Johnson, like Arizona Cardinals David Johnson. Because
how quick did that guy fall?
Good year, and then now you just think that he's going to be good every year. I mean, I know he went late and he went for cheap this year, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna have to edit this part out if he blows up next week.
Yeah, so you're promoting Danny Dimes as the next greatest, and Jonathan Taylor is hot garbage.
No. I like Jonathan Taylor. I just don't know that he's as good as what people think he's going to be because he was so good, and then this year, he's like the back from the dead, the corpse of Jonathan Taylor. He went for cheap, and so I don't know. I mean, he's going to be good for the value for sure.
Do you think Daniel Jones is going to keep it up though?
Did you call Danny Dimes by his birth name, his government name? We don't do that in the podcast. Call him Danny Dimes.
All right, Danny Nichols. All right.
I think he'll do all right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on if my boy Michael Pittman's going to be there to catch all them balls, which I think he is.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't trust him. He had good games with the Giants, and then he just shit the bed the next game. So.
I think the one thing I think about him though is he does have the rushing floor. He will rush the ball if he has an opening. Yeah. And he has some speed. I think that gives you a little bit of a floor. I mean, similar to Justin Fields, who has always had that rushing floor and has never been that good of a passer until now. But, it's a similar thing. And I think that with the security blankets that Danny Dimes has with Tyler Warren, and it didn't get much run from Downs. Yeah. Downs, is a good short yardage guy, but he's not getting much play. But they did what they had to do, and I guess
Right.
it's tough to say what he's going to do next week because the Dolphins are just completely depleted everywhere.
Dude, they look so terrible. Just
They
terrible.
look like the worst. I think the Giants would beat them.
Yeah.
I'm confident actually that the Giants would beat them.
Yeah, I got two in the league. I got Tyreek in the league. In fact, I have the connection in the league, and I'm not feeling very good about that connection. It's the same league I got AJ Brown in. I really thought I was going to do well this year, but after 1 week sample size, it's not feeling great.
0-1. Definitely 0-1.
I'm actually 1-0. I'm actually 1-0. Yeah.
What did how did A-Chain do? Did he
scored.
Did he?
He salvaged a day, but transitioning over to Miami, obviously they are quite a disaster. As much as I did like Mike McDaniels at one point, it appears that it is a culture and coaching situation that they kind of have going on there. I mean, same personnel. To me, it just appears that everybody just isn't buying in. They're not buying into his message anymore. They're not on the same page. You have the disconnect between Tua and Tyreek. They don't have each other's back because of Tyreek and kind of asking to bail at the end of the last season. It just it makes for some bad culture there, and I don't see any change for him. It's going to be a challenging season, I think.
Do you think they need to get rid of Tyreek?
I think that they, what's his name? What's McDaniels?
McDaniel, yeah.
I think that McDaniels tried to be like buddy with the players, and I think that they lost respect for him, man. That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I think that their offensive line is hot garbage, and with Tua, you have to protect him, and he's just rather than solidifying that offensive line this offseason, they're just like, we're just going to be a dink and dunk offense with two of the fastest receivers in the league. And it's like, what are we doing here? They should trade him. They should trade Tyreek. I think that would be probably a pretty good move for them, just to get some future assets to try to build that offensive lineup. Because if Tua can't stay healthy, I mean, they're done.
Right.
Did you guys see the other Times AI skit where he says that Tua, because he clapped Tua's cheeks, that Tua's going to have to wear a Guardian, one of those Guardian caps on his head and his ass? That was hilarious.
I didn't catch that. No.
That's such a bad situation down there, though, because they don't even have a backup. Like last year when
Quinn.
Who?
Quinn Ewers.
Quinn, yeah. Maybe not this year, but I don't know. So? I'm a fan.
I don't know.
And they have the other.
I guess that's better. I guess it's better than. Yeah. I guess that's a better situation than they were in last year, though, because who was the guy? Skyliner or whatever his name was? I can't remember his name.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, Skylar Thompson.
Well,
my God, was he awful?
I don't know if they're going to be in any better position, because if the culture is shit and McDaniels isn't going to coach his way out of a box, then they're going to be in a challenging position regardless of who's under center. I like the idea of trading Tyreek.
He's on the path to become an OC again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think he makes it through the year.
Yeah, I agree.
I read a post saying that they think he'll be a special coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers by Thanksgiving. So
I saw that. Yeah, and something about Shanahan bringing the whole gang back since Saleh is back. And
oh, is he back? Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's the D coordinator again. Yeah.
Did you guys hear Aaron Rodgers talking trash, by the way?
Oh, yeah. About the Jets?
Yeah, absolutely hilarious.
That's fantastic.
So as we move on to the next games, we can kind of go real brief through a few of these. But Panthers, Jags. Panthers are still not a good football team.
I'm going to touch on something Dustin said earlier. Kind of happened in the Cowboys-Eagles game. As soon as that weather delay happened, it changed everything.
And that was like early.
Nothing happened afterwards. Yeah,
that was a weird weather delay because I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, was super long.
Second quarter?
Second quarter. There
8
was
minutes left.
8 minutes. Yep. Yeah, and what it didn't start till after the 3:00 game started.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, and I mean that first quarter and a half, there was some activity. There was some fantasy points that were being had. The only player that really posted anything beyond, I mean, BTJ did get that reverse for a touchdown, but ETN continued to carry the rock and accumulate his rushing yards to. We all, I think, have a little bit of ETN, so we're excited about that. But everything else in that game really was a wash.
We know Shebass is excited about it.
Yeah, look at that. Love it.
Hey, I just, oh my God, I can't sleep at night because I think about these two teams. Although Tank Bigsby being traded, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a little shocking during that game because I don't remember seeing him at all on the field, and then Tootin was out there running the ball, and I was like, huh. All right, I did know about him, but I didn't think he was going to play that big of a role. I didn't think he was going to, take it away from Tank Bigsby like that.
Well, he doesn't fit their running scheme anymore.
Yeah,
and he cannot pass pro. He's probably the worst pass pro running back in the league. So I think that played a big effect into like how they want to run their offense. Everybody was on the ETN is getting work in the preseason to get traded, and I was like, he fits the scheme too well.
Yeah,
Bigsby is the one that doesn't, so
right.
it makes sense for him to get traded. They probably should have did it earlier. I would think that they might have been able to get a little more from him, and he has basically no value now.
Yeah, I was shocked though that he went to the Eagles. I didn't think that he would go to them, but
yeah,
I don't know. You never
really
know.
No value.
Yeah.
Well,
unless Saquon goes down, then he probably will have some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at that point. So let's move on from Travis Etienne to another Travis on the same exact team, Travis Hunter. Were you guys expecting something more out of him?
I felt like he was only used in checkdowns.
Exactly.
I felt like he didn't really run any routes.
8 receptions for 33 yards or something.
Yeah,
they did say that. They did say that he wasn't going to play on defense, and he did play on defense. So
6 snaps.
Yeah,
situational. They said it was going to be a situational corner, but mainly wide receiver. It seemed like that's the way that they approached it.
I think it's a terrible.
But again, I'm kind of throwing this game aside. After the weather delay, it seemed to kind of just change momentum from both sides. The average depth of target was a little disconcerting for Hunter, and obviously BTJ not getting any a large volume of targets was a little concerning as well. But they had a lead pretty much the whole game, so why not just continue to feed ETN? And they didn't really have to worry about passing a large volume. So I'm not too concerned about it. I think that better days ahead for the pass game.
Yeah. And on the other side of the ball, just to cap this off, is Tet had 9 targets, so that makes me feel pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think that he'll be good. Definitely a target of mine this year. I have 0 shares of him. I wanted him in every league, but just got away from me. I think he's gonna.
I have him in 2 leagues and starting in both leagues.
I think.
Wow.
You're talking about McMillan, right?
Yeah.
T-Mac.
I think you're going to see his targets go up even more because I don't think Bryce Young is happy with Leggett right now, and that's really their only other receiver.
Yeah, because Leggett had 7 targets and he was 3 for 10.
Yeah, and he had stupid plays where he just didn't get feet down and he was frustrated. My middle son's a big Panther fan, so we had the game on. And
so what's he think about Coker coming? But when Coker comes back,
dude, he can't wait. He can't wait till he comes back.
How does a child that was born? How's a child from Minnesota become a huge Panthers fan? How'd that happen?
Man, when we lived in Duluth, he was huge on Cam Newton.
You think he'd be an NFL fan?
Yeah, I mean, that was like he was in 3rd grade. Yeah, so that was over 10 years ago. And yeah, just after that, and then he was a big Christian McCaffrey fan when he was at Stanford, and then the Panthers drafted him, and after that, it was just like, okay, the Vikings are second. It was like, how did this happen?
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird
Ain't
choice.
even there no more. Moving on
Yeah.
to the next game here, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, and they played the Patriots. Is there anything? I mean, I think we should probably touch on Ashton Genty, 19 carries for 38 yards. Is that a little bit less than what you guys were expecting here? Because in the preseason, he wasn't doing too hot either. And I
Yeah.
call him the second coming of who did I call him again? Trent Richardson is what I called him. So we'll see if he's better than him. He had a great rookie season. Trent Richardson had a great rookie season.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
I
did.
think-
That was about it.
I definitely think Genty will crank it up a little bit. I think the biggest thing most of us wanted to see was him getting that bulk of carries, and I know that was the thought going into it, but there's always a concern like, is he going to get all the carries? And he did. I think the Patriots have a pretty good front, and I think that there's better days ahead for him for sure.
I actually think the Raiders are going to be good this year because they've made such a massive leap at the QB position. Brock Bowers, 103 yards. What does it have? Jacoby Myers was 8 for 97. So looks like they did more through the air than on the ground, which I think everyone was expecting a bigger day out of the rookie, but
Damn.
didn't happen.
I didn't realize he ran the ball 19 times and only 38 yards.
Yep.
That is not good, but yeah, I mean that's Pete Carroll though. I mean he's going to run his running backs too, so that's a change in Vegas that wasn't there before.
Yeah. Maybe he'll become the next beast mode. Who knows? Do you think that Genty's a buy low candidate? You think anyone would get rid of him at this point with just that small sample size? No.
No,
I would not, and he is a downhill runner. I mean that's how he was in college. He just kept his feet running whenever somebody would get their arms around him, and he would break free. So I just think he needs to get used to the physicality at the NFL level, and then he'll be good.
I would buy low on him. I think he's going to be good still. I just don't think with the investment people put into him that they're willing to give up on him after that volume after 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Patriots passing game? Those receivers out there.
I think the Patriots, most people expected a big leap from Drake May. It didn't occur game one, but I did see some rapport out there, especially with Booty. Had a pretty adequate game. I like what I saw from him. And then the running game really didn't get going, but it did kind of showcase that Ramondre Stevenson is definitely going to be losing that job sooner rather than later. Looked like he pretty much lost it in the second quarter. Obviously, Trayvon didn't really get it going either. But I think that both Drake May and Henderson are gonna continue to improve, and I like what I see from them moving forward.
I'm just looking at how many receptions they all had, and I'm like, need me some shares of these New England receivers, which I don't think I've ever said that sentence out loud. Booty had 6 catches. Diggs had 6 catches. Hunter Henry had 4 catches for 66 yards. That's pretty decent. Wasn't for me. I wasn't expecting anything out of those guys. So Okay, rapid fire here. Next game we have Cardinals Saints. Spencer Rattler. To me, I was actually thought he wasn't even capable of playing in the NFL, and I didn't think he did too bad. I don't know exactly what was the stat line. We're doing rapid fire right now. So anyone stick out to you guys in that game?
Yeah, Kamara. I thought Kamara was going to take a step back, and he looked pretty good.
Juwan Jennings, 99% of the snaps or 98% of the snaps. I think he could be a sneaky waiver wire ad, and if you're hurting with the injury of Kittle, might be a good option. Other than that, business as usual. I think Olave got some good usage. Moved him around the field, which you always like to see with a wide receiver.
Olave 7 for 54. Kamara's 11 for 45 and a TD. If you didn't have the TD, I don't think we'd be saying much about him, to be honest with you.
One thing I'll say about Kamara, too, is he only had 2 catches. And I think they threw the ball 46 times. That's definitely not a good look for him. He eats off of the reception, so I think that's going to hurt him in the long run.
I don't know. I don't see the Saints' future quarterback on the roster. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around what the heck Kellen Moore's doing with that aspect of it. Sure, he's adequate, but if you're looking to build for the future, I don't know why they didn't make a move and do something else at least to try to win now.
Right.
From the Cardinals' perspective, I did like what I saw from Trey Benson. He looks like he has some explosion. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit of a timeshare there for people that have those Cardinals backs. As a lot, I do have a lot of Kyler Murray in a couple of leagues, and it is a little bit. It's getting kind of old. Having the same experience year after year. I'm expecting that leap forward, or at least a step forward, and it seems like more of the same. He talks about wanting to run. He's throwing the same passes to McBride, the same passes to Harrison Jr. And I'm hoping that there will be some growth, but it was a little bit discouraging, even though they did get the win.
I also have him multiple leagues.
Jets, man, I was sweating at my pick 'em.
Yes.
I picked Arizona, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're losing."
I wasn't sweating for a second, but Arizona for some reason. I wasn't watching the game either, though. So there was that. I was just looking at my fantasy. I got one team that has all Arizona Cardinals on it. I was watching my points bracket.
You were bragging in the first quarter. You were loving life.
Yeah, it was when I lost.
Yeah.
Steelers, Jets, the QB swap, and I will say that I am so mad that I don't have Justin Fields in any league, and I feel like an absolute idiot for not picking him up in any league.
I remember when I drafted Fields for $1 in an auction. 3 of us were in, and you guys were just fucking laughing at me.
I wasn't laughing at you, dude.
Who's laughing?
I was
now?
either.
You're like,
I
I was like, I threw him out
remember
there for $1 because I thought he bid up. You guys were like, what? Why would he get bid up? I'm like, I don't know. He's supposed to be a top 10 guy.
He's going to be a top 10 guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Justin Fields believer. What do you guys think about Aaron Rodgers? Do you guys think that this is his best fantasy game of the year? Do you guys think that is he still on the waiver in like every league?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think he could be serviceable.
I think he's on the waiver in a Superflex league I'm in. He's literally on the league. He's on the waiver in every league.
Superflex is definitely serviceable. I think they're still better for one quarterback leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, his age, obviously, Arthur Smith, they're going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to get their defense dialed in. They're not going to play in a lot of high-scoring games like this. Just kind of week one, everything kind of went out the window. On a good note, though, DK didn't really have a good game from my perspective, and Aaron Rodgers still had that good 4-touchdown performance. But DK had sauce.
I think we all know why that happened.
Okay.
Why?
Probably Calvin Austin or some guy that he picked up.
Calvin Austin the third.
At least they know that we're going to be in a podcast that Corey is creating to just self-serve. That's what we're happening. That's what's happening. Yeah, very good job. That was genius, sheer genius. And your Pittman trade. Oh man, I never saw that coming.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Caleb Johnson not being used though during that game.
He was used. He fumbled.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Did he lose it?
He fumbled. Yeah.
He had one rush for -2 yards. Is that the fumble then? Oh my God. And then who was the running back that came in? Was it?
Well, Jalen Warren and Gainwell split carries.
Oh, that's it. Gainwell. That's
if we're going to be self-serving, I'm going to say I did trade Bucky Irving in our dynasty league this year, and I traded him for Jalen Warren and a bunch of draft picks. And so far, I'm ahead in that trade because Jalen Warren outscored Bucky Irving this week. So Just want to throw that out there.
Nice. I got
Nice.
2 shares of Jalen Warren this year, and Kenneth Gainwell. I'm a little bit worried about him. Because he's the one
as
that's
we
getting
should
all the
be.
receptions. Actually, he only had 3 receptions. And Warren had 2 receptions. So I'm wrong about that. Brees Hall, another guy that was falling down everyone's draft boards, and he appears
He looked
to be
great.
good at football.
Looked completely rejuvenated. I did take him in a league, and I'm thrilled with it. So definitely one of the surprises of the week, and a major win for Brees Hall owners.
Like Ashton Genty, who had 38 yards, Brees Hall also had 19 carries, but his went for 107 yards. And we already know that when you have a running QB, the running back usually does better. And we all know this. We've been playing fantasy football for decades, but yet for some reason, we all thought Brees Hall wasn't going to do it.
How many?
Pure stupidity.
How many receptions did he have?
2.
2? That was
for 38.
2 for 38.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I was expecting a little bit more out of him. Just on
You're
the
expecting more from Brees Hall?
on the receiving end.
You respected
On
more
the receiving end.
plus yards from scrimmage?
Yes.
It's tough to. I think that the place that hurts running backs is on the receiving end with a scrambling quarterback. But the thing about Fields is, I noticed this year. Obviously, his passes were crisp. I think he had 0 uncatchable balls or something like that. I saw a stat, but he would start to run, but he would always stop at the line of scrimmage, and he'd end up getting a pass off. He still had 10 designed runs, but he's more so trying to be the quarterback that passes the ball rather than just when shit falls running it, which was nice. I think that will pay off for all the pass catchers there. I mean, we saw rejuvenation from Garrett Wilson. He had some good games last year, and he's obviously a great wide receiver. And I know that there was some fear of what was going to happen, especially from the preseason.
Yeah, I didn't touch Garrett Wilson, and I'm not happy about that decision by myself.
Yeah, so
to do that.
It was encouraging to see how composed Fields was in the pocket. Absolutely.
Yep.
He seemed more comfortable.
I think he's better than Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I'm sold that the Bears made a huge mistake. Next game, Giants, Commanders, and we all know that we love our boy Neighbors, but the Giants are trash. So what do you guys think of Malik Neighbors this week? Are you guys worried at all about him, his production?
I wouldn't be worried about him.
No.
He's just like JJ, right? You just have to throw the ball up to him. He'll catch it. But
unless you
Russell
drop
Wilson, I think Russell Wilson needs to be benched.
Yeah,
I think he's done.
Coming.
You gotta run with Jackson Dart, dude. He looked so good in the preseason. And
I don't know why that happens, man. How's that happen? It's like you're just good. You're getting $100 million contract, and now suddenly the next day you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's a mindset. There's certain individuals that have the drive, whether they've gotten the payday or not. Sometimes the payday is the driving factor. And once they get it, the same motivation isn't there. You can tell yourself till you're blue in the face that it is, but obviously his performance is showing otherwise. I do think it's time for Jackson Dart, but I have, if I'm not mistaken, they do have a significant injury on the offensive line. And from kind of the rumor mill that I'm hearing is they don't want to make that move until that offensive lineman is back in place.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Like Andrew Thomas.
Sure.
So that would be his blind side, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Anyone else on the Giants that we should cover? Probably not.
Scatterbo's a man, dude.
Yeah, that was fun to see.
Scatterbo was a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good at Arizona State, man.
I'd like to see him get some more carries. I think he will.
It reminds me of Peyton Hillis.
Yes.
Yeah. The famous Peyton Hillis, who had one really good season, and then he was on the cover of Madden, and then we never seen him.
Yeah. So as long as Scatterbo stays off the Madden cover, we'll be good to go. Yeah.
Jaden Daniels. We're moving on to the other side of the ball. Jaden Daniels, he did what he was supposed to do. He had a pretty good game. Let's see here. Austin Eckler No, you know who was
Bill.
really surprising for me was Debo, and I had Debo in, and I'm happy about
Yeah.
that. He was in my flex, and
Yeah.
so what he 7
looked
for
good.
77.
Mhm.
He had 22 points in the league that I'm in.
He had a 19-yard rush for
He
a
had 19
touchdown.
yard rush, so 22 points in my flex.
I just want you guys to know these are all off my head. I have 0 notes.
So they might be correct. They might not.
They actually are
He's like,
correct. I actually
he had
the
7 catches.
He is. He's actually spitting like
Are you
real.
telling us you want us to fact check you on this, or
The ghost of Zach Ertz
Someone's
was
gonna-
3 for 26 and a touchdown. My ball, Zach Ertz.
I think Zach Ertz is also another guy that's probably on the waiver wire that might be a serviceable tight end for
Yeah.
Kittle's out time.
yeah,
Or you can just draft two tight ends like I do every year. So that way, when one of them goes down, you have another
At least.
stud sitting there. And so, yeah, sometimes I do.
yeah.
Sometimes I do
I'm
3.
I'm going to jump back in the lot of mouths to feed comment with the Commanders. It is exciting. They have Debo. They've got Bill. They've got Eckler. And, of course, they have McLaurin. I see McLaurin is taking a step back, having his regression. It was expected already just because the stat line he's had over the last few years was pretty equal, other than last year. He had that spike in touchdowns. So that was kind of the outlier. The expectation is those touchdowns were going to take a step back. I definitely think that's going to be the case now with the addition of Debo, with the addition of the other weapons. I still think that fortunately where we drafted McLaurin was adequate because of the holdout. So fortunately for those that did draft McLaurin, it's not going to be necessarily a terrible thing because of where they drafted him, but the expectation shouldn't be the same for where they were compared to last year.
Well, I think the reason why Debo had such a good game is because he didn't hold out, right? And so he just built some rapport. So over the course of the season, you would think that McLaurin would start to overtake a lot of that production, right?
You know,
Yeah. How about that rookie?
Bill,
Running back.
yeah,
Ja'Cory McCourt. What is it? Krosky Merritt?
Bill.
Bill.
Did you say Bill?
He likes to
What he
go
goes
by
by,
Bill.
dude.
Yeah.
Does
Bill
he really?
Krosky.
Bill
Yeah.
Krosky Merritt. Yes.
Oh, I did not know that. Yeah. He
Yeah.
looked good though. 10 rushes for 82 yards.
Look fantastic. I think he's just going to continue to gain more opportunity after this.
Yep.
I think he had 27% of the snaps. So on those 27%, he looked
Touchdown.
great. I mean, what did he
Yeah.
have? 75 yards and a touchdown?
82 yards, and then he had 9
It
yards.
really feels like
receiving.
he's not actually. It feels like he's actually reading off of a piece of paper, but he's trying to pretend like it's coming out of his brain. He's like 70.4% of the snaps.
He's got it tattooed on his leg.
Yeah, correct. He's like, what
And
did he
it's the
get?
wrong stat.
He's like,
75 yards.
He's
Look
like,
at that.
and
Hey,
So Corey,
I'm
you
in
have
the general
Debo.
ballpark.
I do have a question for you. You've got Debo. You're making it known. You're very proud. Are you looking at Debo as a sell high?
No, I'm hanging on to him. I think that even though everything I just said, I think holds true, he's my flex. I wasn't expecting to get a nice 22 points out of him. So I think that he's going to be one of those guys that can pop off and win you the week. And I think that his floor is still going to be serviceable as flex. So I don't see really a reason to get rid of him.
I see that. I see that perspective. I do have him in our Empire League as well as one of our 3 receivers. So I'm excited about the performance. Just one of the things that I always consider when I'm looking at if I'm going to try to flip somebody is injury history. There is that concern with Debo, and if you can get somebody else to see the value after week 1 and not worry about that injury history and pay you full value at the moment, it might be worth considering. At least floating it out there and seeing what kind of offers you could get.
Well, who would you want to pick up for Debo? Who would
A.J.
be a
Brown.
good trade?
AJ Brown, Mike, maybe possibly Mike Evans, somebody in that realm.
See, and AJ Brown is like, yeah, he has a way higher ceiling, but we see that his floor is the floor, the actual floor.
Yeah, well, I mean, take a look at Debo's stat lines over the last 5-6 years. They're not where AJ Brown typically is. So, I mean,
He's
just something to consider, and just kind of sharing my viewpoint of how I look at things, especially with a player that he has those soft tissue injuries from time to time. And right now he is healthy and things are going well. He looked great. I'm excited about him, but if somebody comes to me with an adequate offer, I'm going to listen.
Yeah, I did talk him up quite a bit. So Jamal, another person in our leagues that we all know, he played Tony Pollard over Debo in one of our leagues, and I think he lost.
Which I would have done.
Huh?
I would have done that.
Really? Because I actually thought he was like, I couldn't even believe he did that. Because PPR league, I just figured Debo was going to get a couple grabs. He might get some carries too. And with McLaurin sitting out, like I don't know. I just felt like Debo would have been the better option in that flex spot.
I probably would have went wide receiver.
Correct. Yeah, you always go wide receiver.
Samuel.
He drafts like 3 wide receivers before he even looks at running back.
Dude, they can pop off. I think they pop off for more points than a running back does typically.
Well, and today, yeah, but if you're old school, right? Like it used to be running back at all times, wasn't it, Justin?
What was the question? I still kind of been. For me, it's all about scarcity. If I'm looking at the same point value that I can get in the 10th round from a wide receiver than a running back that I can get in the 5th, I want to try to load up on those running backs early in the draft, because there's just a much higher likelihood you're going to get one of those valuable receivers towards the end of the draft. So I tend to draft running backs pretty heavily in the beginning of the draft, and something that you guys always tend to notice, but that's just kind of my theory. That's where I find the Nicos of the world. This year, I did have a target of Keon Coleman and didn't get him in a damn one league, but that was one of my targets, kind of like in the same vein of that Nico before they pop off. The one year that Nico blew up, I had him in all 5 leagues, and I got him in the 10th plus round. So I always do take the preseason, watch every snap, and try to just kind of see who's gaining rapport, who's got that explosiveness that's not really on the radar. And then I'll just kind of sprinkle several of them on my roster at the end of the draft, and usually at least one will pan out. So yeah.
Which is why I don't understand why I don't go to like the first draft that we're in together and then pay attention to who you're eyeing and then just try to like snipe them from you at the next draft. I never do that.
It's funny when I was on the Nico train that year, I was really boasting it, and everybody just was kind of laughing about it, as they should. He really hadn't made a name for himself at all, and I just was kind of having fun with it. And each time I drafted him, I'm like, I got him in another one. And then
I remember that. I remember you getting him and being like, oh, I got him in every league now.
Yeah.
Remember, I was also going for him that year. And I was like, I saved him for you in the Empire.
How nice.
Yeah. Next game, Titans-Broncos has really nobody to talk about. Bo Nix was terrible. The Titans, I would say that Pollard is really the only shining light on the Titans, and he was 18 for 60 and no touchdowns. I don't know. Is there anyone in that game that you guys want to touch on? Because I really don't see anybody in that game.
Yeah,
I think Cam Denzel Ward. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, Cam Ward does have the skills. I think he really does. But I think the Broncos D is real. It's the real deal, and so I think that's where the challenge came in. But boy, he's got a cannon. He's got the skills.
He's a good leader too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like him a lot, even though he sucked that game. I think he didn't even crack 150. I don't think passing.
I think most quarterbacks are going to suck against them, dude. They're good.
And as a Cortland Sutton owner, I was really discouraged on that 4th down attempt that Denver tried late in the game, and Bo Nix missed whatever wide receiver he was shooting for on that last play and overshot him by like 20 yards. Because if you take a look at that play, Cortland Sutton was crossing the other direction and was wide open by like 20, 25 yards for like a 35-yard touchdown. So that one hurt quite a bit.
I definitely think Bo Nix didn't look like he did last year for the first game. So
he's got a fucking cannon though. I mean, he really can rifle it in there into some tight spots if he needs to.
No JJ McCarthy, but he has one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
49ers Seahawks. There's no running backs we want to talk about in this game at all. So McCaffrey, man.
McCaffrey, sell high.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think so high?
If they're going to use him like
Yeah.
that, what's his
Well,
history? I don't know.
I'm not selling McCaffrey for anything.
He's still having a calf issue, though, right?
Well, just that fear, just that whole experience was not worth it for me. I have CMC, and I can't unload him fast enough. And Dustin, you're in the league. I have him, so shoot me an offer.
Dude, he was 9 for 73. He was literally there.
I'll sell him for.
Receptions. He had twice receptions as the next.
I'll give you a Marion for him.
Twice
There we go. Now we're talking
on their team. Right? I don't even know why anyone would even consider trading them.
Is that a dynasty?
And the next best was.
I mean, it's all about that risk aversion again. I mean, I can't go through every single week sweating bullets that the number one pick, my first pick of the year, which I should know better. I should not be. You have to draft safe in the first round.
I got him
you
in
have
second
to draft,
round, but I got him.
and well, this was a keeper league and very running back heavy. Not even a PPR, so it was running back. Yeah, super running back heavy, and just that fear leading up to the first game was, and even during that game, watching every snap, freaking out, wondering if he's gonna start limping. It was just I'd rather just cut ties and get some value for him.
You just watch your point stack. You know what I mean? That's what I do.
I mean, the way I drafted, I love the team that I put together behind him, and so anything that I can get for him is just going to be gravy. The only thing I wouldn't want to deal with is just getting a 0 from that spot.
I might have to get rid of him because I have AJ Brown in that league along with those Dolphins, and I get zeros from all those spots, and so I can't handle that 4-0 spot.
At least the league you have him in is a PPR. So, I mean, it's gold right there. He's going to get those 7, 8 catches. So it might be worth it in a PPR.
I think they have a trainer issue there. Look at all the injuries they've dealt with over the past few years. Like, it's time to get a new trainer, a new staff, because injuries are just rampant there.
Up everywhere.
Week
Seahawks,
one, we're already.
You guys think about Cooper Kupp. You guys buying low on Cooper Kupp, or is he done?
Done.
I am not, but I'm buying high on JSN.
All right.
Even though he had a good game.
JSN. What do you guys make of the running back situation in Seahawks?
Yeah,
I'm just looking forward to when Ken Walker goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charbonnet's looking good, man. He is. Yeah, he had the share of the carries.
I'm kind of giving a little bit of benefit of the doubt to Kenneth Walker. I'm looking at it much like the AJ Brown situation. They both ended the preseason with that injury designation. They kind of seem like, well, I guess they're going to force him into that first game. And I look at it, and I love Charbonnet. I have more shares of Charbonnet than I do Walker, but I do feel like they just kind of lightened his load for game one. I mean, I hate the timeshare. So like I said, I don't wish injury on anybody, but if Walker, needs to take a week or two to kind of heal up, I wouldn't mind that.
Do you think Seattle will end up trading one of them? No,
I highly doubt it. Yeah. I mean, from a coaching perspective, there's nothing better than to have two running backs that are, that have that.
But we don't care about coaches, and we don't even care about teams. Yeah. We only care about their individual production, right?
That's what we care about. But from a reason standpoint as to why they might or might not be traded.
Moving on to the Packers and the Lions, and I know that we have a lot of disappointment in this game because guess what? The Lions could not run the ball to save their friggin' lives. So Gibbs actually had he had a lot of receiving, didn't he? He had
10 catches for 31 yards, the lowest ever.
The lowest amount of yards, that many catches ever?
Jahmyr Gibbs, 10 catches for 31. The lowest yardage for somebody who caught 10 balls ever.
Dang.
Dude,
made history.
I don't even know if I could catch 10 3-yard passes. That just seems like you're too close. Like you might as well like high five at that point.
I honestly think that I hate and I hate saying this, but I think the Packers defense is real. Like they're going to be dominant. And I think this was just a blip for the Lions. Yeah, I do.
I think the Lions are in trouble.
I think the Lions are definitely going to take a step back.
I think that
from
whenever
where
you
they've
switch
been.
to an offensive coordinator like that, I think that something's gonna happen. So I actually think they're in trouble.
Divisional game,
It is a divisional game. There is that. But
Yeah,
both teams are pretty good.
Do you think Ben Johnson? Do you think that's the big difference there?
Well, it didn't look like it at the Bears game.
I think Ben Johnson's only good at coaching.
Well, head coaching is different though from being an offensive coordinator. You've seen offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators suck as head coaches and go back into that coordinator role, and then be awesome again.
Yeah.
What's the guy from New England that went out to Denver, and then he went back to New England, and then he went to the Raiders?
You talking about dude? He's only he's only good at being like the face of the offense in New England.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that he's doing it.
Yeah. I think that's the issue with the Lions. But yeah, God, they look like shit. It's all around. They didn't look good at all.
I was expecting big things from Jamison Williams this year, and
I got that Amon-Ra St. Brown in a league.
I feel like there's a little bit of overreaction happening in this game. Goff has traditionally never played well in Lambeau, so he held true to that. I don't think that the Lions will be as elite. They'll be a slight step back, but I think that the overreaction has definitely gone too far. They'll be all right. They're going to put up plenty of points. And I do agree with you, Dustin. The Packers are a bit frightening, and it's discerning to see.
I think they might go 0-18.
0-18.
The Lions or the Packers?
There's no way.
But I did watch an analyst on TV say he thinks the Lions might be
the Lions again.
The Lions again. Yeah.
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 They still have Dan Campbell and the culture that he created. I mean, they're hard-nosed. They're going to be all right.
Bite them off at the kneecaps.
Dan Campbell's on the winless team, the winless Lions team as well.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in week 2. I mean, things change from week to week, but yeah. What'd you guys think of the Packers?
Defense, dude. I thought their offense was decent.
Yeah. I thought Jordan Love looked a little bit better than he has, but he also had good games last year too. And then he had games like, dude, who are you throwing it to?
Yeah, I mean, Love's adequate. He is, but the receiver room is too deep.
Way too deep, man. Everyone had like 2 or 3 receptions. I did grab Reed in like the last round of the league, and so I was happy when I seen him score. But it's not like I had him in.
Even after drafting Matthew Golden, I don't see them having that elite number one who's going to catch 110 balls, or I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. What did he have? 2 catches for 16 yards. I
mean, Christian Watson didn't come back, right?
They just extended him $13.75 million through next year.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's still sitting on the
ACL,
IR.
right? Yeah, he's coming back from the ACL injury.
Yeah, and he did that late too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought Golden. I thought he was going to be more involved than he was. Just two receptions on a. Didn't they take him high too? Was he a first rounder?
22nd.
Yeah, first round.
Yeah, I mean, you would think you would involve him a lot more.
Week 1, I can't put too much into just 1 week. I think you got to have a couple games to see what we're dealing with. But doesn't look great.
So Matthew Golden, would you guys try to trade for him?
You can't trade him now. No,
for sure.
No. If you don't have him, trade for him.
Oh,
try to get somebody
I would not. I was not on board even preseason. So
okay.
And Justin watched every snap. He's a preseason junkie. But
preseason's awesome because you got all the scrubs that are trying to claw their way into the lineup and make that team, man. I love watching that.
Preseason seems different now, though, because it used to be like the third game was it. Like all the starters would play like a half.
It is. It's a lot easier to watch. I mean, and I don't watch every snap of the whole game. I watch the first team and maybe into the second teamers, but it's over in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Yep. Texans Rams. Nick Chubb sighting, 60 yards.
He was there.
He was there, 13 for 60. I mean, he had almost 5 yards of carry efficiency. I mean, he didn't play bad.
Both defenses are really hard-nosed. They're better than expected. So it was just kind of a defensive struggle. I'm not taking a lot away from any kind of issues that the offense has had.
From Nico Collins is 25, 3 for 25.
Correct.
Stroud didn't have a good game either, did he?
Their whole line is horrendous, dude.
Yeah,
it's the same issue as last year. I think that they didn't put enough into that this offseason.
Yeah, that makes a difference. If you quarter, like you could have a all-star quarterback, right? And if he doesn't have any time to throw, he's going to panic, and he's just going to, interceptions or have to throw away or run for his life. And if he can't run for his life, like Aaron Rodgers, you're screwed.
I do think that Rams defense is more stout than people give them credit for. I mean, even looking at the playoffs last year against the Vikings, it was top notch.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua, 10 for 130. Who'd have thought? I really kind of thought that Devontae Adams was actually going to not like take him out of the game completely, but I thought that he was going to eat it a little bit.
Some of the production, yeah.
He's a glorified George Pickens.
What's that?
Yep.
Glorified George Pickens.
Yeah, correct. Pretty much. Good to see Stafford back in that one, but outside of that, nothing real serious in that game. So we just dropped such a wealth of knowledge on people that as soon as they find this podcast, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I know more than the other dudes in my league. And this NFL junkie dude and Stump and Shebass are really spitting some game right now. And they're going to want to download this and they're going to have information that no one else has. You want to know why? Because very few people are going to listen to this podcast. But the people that do are going to probably win their league. Because what do we teach them?
How to win.
Danny Dimes, Michael Pittman,
huge
Calvin Austin,
name guys,
studs.